Good morning. So I am sitting outside Gold's Gym, and I really don't want to be here today. I feel like trash. I'm sore. But I'm going in anyway. So, I just want to share that because I think it's important that people know that even those of us who are consistent, there's days that we don't want to do it either. The thing that separates us and the reason why we're going to end up with better results is because these are the days that we push through and do it anyway. When there's a lot of people who give up on the days that they don't want to. So there's that.
Good morning, accountability crew. Welcome back. This is where we condense the pain of personal growth. You can hear in my voice, I'm a little raspy today. I'm not sick, I'm not feeling ill. I sleep with a CPAP at night, and occasionally the water in it depletes, and then I'm breathing extremely dry air. And then the rest of that day, I sound kind of like I'm getting sick. So that's what happened this morning. So please forgive the voice. It may sound like I'm a 12-year-old going through puberty. But today, in the science of success, we talked about sincerity and how sometimes sincerity is the key that pushes things over. And the reason that's important is because people watch. When you're doing something, there's people who are going to watch what you're doing to see how sincere you are in what you're doing before they're willing to get behind your cause, before they're willing to support you in whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure that you're doing things genuinely and sincerely so that people know that you're doing it. This is who you're becoming. This is a habit you're developing. This is a goal that you're going to reach, whether they help or not, and that you are truly going to do what you set out to do. And that sincerity is going to speak through your actions. And then there are some people who will get behind you just simply because of that. Now, in The Power of the Other, this book is a little bit deeper, a little more complex than I had originally thought it was going to be. But this chapter is getting into relationships, and this chapter is talking about how relationships are what gets you to the next level, but not just casual friendship hangout type relationships, but intentional relationships that have certain characteristics that elevate you. I've heard a lot of my coaches and mentors talk about association. That who you spend your time with is going to determine who you are 5 years from now. And I think this is kind of where that's going, but also being more intentional about creating intentional relationships that elevate. Because if you change the hardware, I also talk about three pillars, if you will, of that performance being, the brain itself, the physiology, the physical brain, and the mind being the software, if you will. So if it's a computer, then the software that's running is your mind, and that your mind controls not just the software, but also the information flow of the hardware and the relationships that you have. But being intentional about increasing your capacity, as well as upgrading the intentionality of your relationships, how that can drastically affect multiple areas of your life based on what you're targeting and what your intentions are. And that sometimes it happens in a way that is really outside your control, because you're by changing the hardware and changing the software, your capacity is going to change, and so your thinking is going to change, and then you're going to start doing and saying and taking actions that maybe just a few months ago you wouldn't do, think, or say. And that is very powerful, kind of tying back into the habits book that we talked about in defining who you want to become, and then hopefully designing your relationships around creating meaningful relationships that will help you take on those identities, so that your goals almost happen in spite of you, because you're upgrading the hardware and upgrading the software. So with that, I love you. I appreciate you. Condense the pain of personal growth and stay accountable. Bloop.